Hi, everybody. This is Josh Becerra from Agurian. Welcome to the next episode of How I Work. I am so excited to be joined by Jenna Zeng. Thanks for being here, Jenna.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to hang out.
Yeah, so Jenna is a serial entrepreneur, kind of an idea junkie, marketing nerd, and small business owner with big dreams. You are helping others in your entrepreneurial community, found your way doing that, has led you into like the tech world. So you co-founded this kind of back end optimization workflow tool for small businesses called StaffNet, software and app that helps business owners take the tedious tasks off their to-do lists, automate the day, and allow for more time doing the things they want to grow their business on their own terms. I think that's so awesome. Thanks for being here, Jenna.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Happy to be
Yeah,
here.
so I love the story. You know, you and I talked about your story, but I want the audience to hear about it. You've just had kind of an amazing entrepreneurial journey that brought you to create StaffNet. So why don't you start by just telling the audience a little bit about what you were doing prior to StaffNet, how you came up with the idea, and where you are today.
Yeah. So I was kind of just working a regular desk job, if you will, but started a side business at the time. And it was a small little cleaning business with one of my managers at the time. I actually became good friends. And we went into business for the wrong reasons of wanting to make all of the money. And we quickly learned that doesn't really happen with a new business, B, people who are starting business who have no business doing business. But yeah, we didn't do it from a perspective of love and labor and stuff like that. So we started it, and then all of a sudden I was working evenings and weekends. And so we're on the journey for being entrepreneurs, we're super into it, and then all of a sudden it gets really, really old, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what we were facing was just the issue of constantly having to chase our tails in terms of admin work. Nothing was automated, everything was highly manual. And we were just essentially needing to firm up our processes a little bit more. So yeah, basically from there, we were able to, if you have an idea, there's a pain point, right? So we basically met with some developers in Toronto, Canada, and they said, okay, well, we can fix this for you. We can create a system for you and create automations and just your perfect tool with all of the features.
Wow.
And so, yeah, we met with them. It was pretty cool. Then they gave us the price, and we were like, oh, I don't know if we want to do that. But then we kind of considered, okay, what are we going to save in terms of time versus, output and stuff like that. So we went forward with it, but it was just a solution to solve our problems at the time. And so we started creating it, a perfect software and app. And we kind of had this aha moment along the way that, out of 7 billion, I think it's 8 billion people now, actually. But anyways, out of that many people in the world, we aren't the only small business that essentially is facing these issues, right? And we had tried other systems too before, and nothing really fit us. And so that's why we created our own. So then, yeah, we launched it into a beta test to say, hey, is there room for us in the market? Like, are we even relevant? Are people going to like us? And I honestly thought two people might be into it. And so I reached out to a bunch of people on LinkedIn and just like, these are relationships I fostered. I had a pretty good LinkedIn prior, but I just reached out and said, hey, like I have a product that I would love for you to test for free and all that stuff. And we got 20 beta testers out of it. And so it was pretty cool to be able to test our product in different scenarios that we could have not done ourselves. And so once we ran through the beta, and it wasn't smooth. There was like a lot of bumps and along the
Never.
road in the beta, but no, never is, never is. And you can try and plan for all these things and little things come up, right? Like one day I changed something in the back end with like some code and I shut down the whole system. So like there's just like a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of bumps along the way. So yeah, beta went really well, and then we just launched into the market, and it went better. Again, like my expectations have been very low so far because going into the cleaning business, we had these high expectations, and we were so wary going into the tech world, where we didn't necessarily have a seat, and we kind of pulled up the seat, and now we're sitting at the table. So not really where we expected to be, going from desk jockey to owning a service-based business to now being in the online world. So
Right.
it's
And
weird.
that's what I love so much about your story, right? Is that you kind of went from, yeah, working a job to starting your own business. Then it's like scratching your own itch and figuring out how to get it done, and then finding some other people to like start using your product, and kind of always being surprised at like how well it actually is going. And so I think that's so cool. It's such a great story. So one of the parts of your story that we talked about is that you like jumped right into marketing coming out of beta. And the audience of how I work is a lot of marketers, a lot of
Mhm.
software as a service marketers, right? Um,
Yeah.
so you wrote a blog entitled "Attention Small Business Owners, Don't Make My $20,000 Mistake." So why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience jumping right into marketing?
Yeah, oh gosh. I love marketing, but I did not love marketing a year ago. I can tell you that much. We're bootstrapped, we're self-funded. And so although our marketing business funded this and we didn't necessarily put our own investments, it is a lot of hard work that did go into getting the funds for it, right? So we had this little nest egg and it was around $20,000. And it's funny because at the time my husband's a personal trainer. He owns his own business. So one of his clients came in. He's a very successful jeweler locally. Okay.
Hmm.
He's established his business for many years.
Yeah.
And he was going on and on and on about these radio ads and saying, I tenfold my investment and I basically am killing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So light bulbs are going off. I'm brand new. I'm just getting onto the scene. I'm like,
Who
easy.
knew
This is
that?
like, yeah, the staples, like that was easy button. That's what I wanted, right? So I went for that. So then I met up with a few local radio stations, media outlets, and stuff like that, and they presented to us and they gave us the different quotes and whatnot. And basically from there, we ended up signing, and they did their job. But when you're going into a world that brand recognition is like 0 to null, people don't have that know like trust factor with you, so we had that going against us. So people are like, what is staff and scheduling? I don't even know. Are you staffing agency? And so no idea what we're talking about or doing on the radio with our ads. And yeah, basically we were running boosted campaigns on social media as well. Again, we were getting some eyeballs, but really not enough. And then, there's a lot of money going into them creating copy for us. Okay, cool. But then it wasn't centered around our brand story. You know what I mean? And that wasn't really guiding our clients to want to buy our products. So there was a lot of things where we tried to take the shortcut and had other people do it for us, and we paid a pretty penny for it, but it actually was not effective whatsoever. And we pretty much made like maybe $1,000 on the $20,000
Right.
that
Right.
we spent. So
You
then
can't
we
make
went,
that up in scale. Yeah. Just keep doing that over.
yeah,
That's not the way it's
no,
going to work. Yeah. But you
oh
did
no,
say that now you love marketing.
yeah.
So what's changed your mind?
Yeah, so once we ran out of money, we are sitting there and we're like, okay, so two options. We either figure out how to do this for free or we don't market at all. And option number two is not an option.
Right.
So I started doing organic marketing and I dove right into the world of SEO. So that would be blogging with keyword research, getting on podcasts, getting with different business owners. So again, leveraging my LinkedIn through collaborations and guest posting on other blogs. And
Mm.
so it's a lot of reaching out, cold outreach, a lot of it. But once we kind of built up our systems in terms of how to reach out to people and message, it worked out really, really well for organic marketing. And we probably spend maybe like $1,000 on marketing a month, and that's all we have to spend now. And we have a very successful business.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
amazing. So, yeah, big learns in there, of course, but I'm glad that you're loving marketing again. As a marketer, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, another topic that I saw that you wrote about in a blog was being an introvert can be a superpower. So I'm curious what you mean by that, and then if there's introverted founders and entrepreneurs out there, like any tips or advice you'd give to them.
Yeah, so I wrote this when I consider myself an ambivert, a bit of both, right? Depends on kind of where I'm at in the season of life and stuff. But one of my friends, we were having a chat and she said, I never could be an entrepreneur because I'm too much of an introvert. Light
Hmm.
bulb went off. I was like, absolutely not. That you 100% can be. Some of the greatest entrepreneurs are introverts. So then went into research mode and basically came up with that blog post. And what I loved about it is that the way introverts look at the world is obviously very different. They have different shade of glass on. And so basically with introverts, they're able to look at things a little bit more, I guess, like without being there's less noise. That's
Yeah,
the best way to describe it, right? So for me, like I said, there's always noise, big shiny objects. I'm constantly going every direction. With introverts, I find they can focus a lot more. And then with that, they don't really always want to be the center of attention in their business. So they learn how to delegate early on. And that's one thing as a business owner that I have totally sucked at. I want to touch everything. I'm like that kid in the store that you're like, just stop. So with introverts, they're actually really good at delegating because the areas where they don't feel confident and skilled in, they naturally want to offset that to somebody else because they feel comfortable in their own area of expertise,
sure.
essentially. Whereas extroverts are known to just want to try all of the things and they're okay with having something blow up in their face, which is totally fine as a business owner and you should be okay with that.
Yeah.
But introverts are a little bit more less risk adverse versus extroverts.
Mm.
So you kind of need a bit of both. But with the introverts, I think it was very eye opening that maybe other people might have that perspective on business. Oh, I can't go on because I'm an introvert. I don't want to be in the forefront of my business. Well, it's not true. You
Yeah,
can be in the back running things, the master puppeteer, if you will, and just delegate out to your team as you grow.
yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Delegation is such a big deal, especially as you're growing. I know that I've felt that at Agurian for sure. Um,
Hmm.
so when we were prepping for this, you talked about kind of like from a business standpoint, like a philosophy standpoint, this idea of like mindset of service. Um, and I love that. I think that there's a lot in there that maybe we do here at Agurian. But it's basically like if you're gonna do something, do it for the right reasons. It sounds like at the beginning, like you may have started your business because you just wanted to make all the money, and that may not have been like the best reasons. Of course, it's important. Like as a business owner, we're doing this, we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into this. We want to, make some money, but it shouldn't be the only motivation for sure. So I'm a big believer in like mindset, and I love this philosophy. So why is it so important to you? And how do you like actually build it into your company culture?
Yeah, so coming from a place of service, I think was just it just happened so naturally with StaffNet. It's a labor of love. We weren't intending to market this. And then we basically said, hey, if other people are struggling, we want to help serve them. Right. And so, for us, it's just been kind of the center of our story. And then from there, we've just grown. So it's
Yeah,
kind of at our core. Right. How we implement it into our culture overall, we just give as much as we possibly can. Obviously, we're in business to make money and we have to stay afloat, but overall, where we can be of service, I think are different areas in terms of building community, helping out with answering questions. We did consultations and coaching calls free of charge for people who genuinely just have questions that are responding and engaging to our emails, for example. We do free gifts like giveaways, they call them lead magnets, but like actual information and that we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
put out there for small businesses. And then we meet with them for calls to see, okay, where can we lead you to save more time in your day, for example. So different streams and avenues where we've learned to leverage certain techniques and whatnot, we turn into calls and webinars and
Yeah.
all of these kind of add-ons, if you will. And just because it fills our cup, we really genuinely enjoy doing it beyond the services that we offer. Because what we offer is very basic. It's a subscription to an online tool that you can leverage and manage your business more effectively.
Right.
Cool. On top of that, my day-to-day things are literally just to create webinars, meet with people, just show them, their business can be awesome again and kind of like guide them along the way if they're a startup.
Yeah. And I just
Yeah.
like that underlying motivation is like, I can help you feel like your business is awesome, like that it isn't a drag on you, that it isn't like
Yeah.
harder than it needs to be, like that I can be of service, right? So anyway, love
Yeah.
that philosophy. And I think it's really cool that you've got it like embedded throughout the culture. So we're kind of running short on time. One of the questions that I love to ask, kind of final question of all my guests, are just kind of who you're paying attention to. Are there any like podcasters or authors or people that are like inspiring you today? Um, Tell us.
Hmm. Right now I'm reading uh, Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday, if you haven't already.
I
Really,
haven't.
really good book. Yeah, really good book. All of his other books are amazing, but this is a really good one too. Podcast. Yeah. So Alex Harmozy, I think that's who it is. He podcast or hosts The Game. And he's amazing. I don't even know how to like if you get a chance just listen to him. You hear him talk and he speaks with a lot of conviction and he swears and it's like very gritty, but it's good. It like gets to the point and you're just like it's like somebody having like a real talk with you and you're like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I really, really enjoy listening to him. And usually one that I fall back to is School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. Anything self-development, I just like eat it up. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
just sit there all day like a robot and just like, listen to my podcast. So those are the people who got influencing my day to day.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Jenna, I really appreciate your time today. This has been a great conversation, and that'll wrap this episode of How I Work. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the How I Work podcast with Josh Becerra. If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe. To learn more about Agurian and for more digital marketing tips and insights, head to agurian.com.